holidays and family and just the schedule itself. It's the most difficult time to manage for a team, and how have you altered your approach through the years? Maybe?
I mean, definitely. I mean, every NFL team goes through it, and it's really always been the case. But as the head coach, you're always evaluating. I mean, you're always evaluating every schedule. It's something that we do, and we've adjusted it, a little bit each year. How we practice the team. More what you do on Mondays and Wednesdays. Because Thursday, Friday, Saturday has to pretty much stay intact. We're on a winter schedule format, something I've always done. That was more because of the daylight savings time, in Green Bay, just that, got dark so early. And plus the time of year, too. I mean, 16th, 17th game, those are things you factor in. So, yeah, you're always looking at that. And frankly, like any training regimen, the healthier team is where you have to have the flexibility to adjust. So that's always really the big part, the main factor in ultimately how each schedule is done each week.
Mike Todd Archer with ESPN. Deron Bland, how have you seen his comfort grow since he's come back from that foot deal?
Consistent. I think just like anything, it's being off that long. Just the practice wise, particularly in the focus of reps. We've been smart there. Just make sure he gets what he needs. But no, he's playing with confidence. But I think just like anything, I think it's very natural to see him progress based off how long he's been off.
When a guy, he's never come back from injury before, the things you look for from guys, like, are they favoring it? Are they thinking about it? Are they not? Just going out there and playing.
Yeah, definitely. The biomechanic focus, that's really, I think Britt Brown does a great job of that, just as, watching the movement, and, that's always being evaluated. And beauty to, see it reinforced with the video. Obviously the defensive coaches are looking at that. But yeah, I think, in particular to Deron, he's such a consistent person in everything he does. So he's very regimented in how he operates. So, but I just think it's been more the reality of coming off of the injury for how long he's been out that he's just kind of. I think it's a very normal process that he's going through right now.
John Machota with The Athletic. I know we've asked you a few questions this week about Osa, but you go back to when you drafted him till now. Is he right where you thought he'd be, and if so, is there a next step for him, or is he exactly where he needs to be?
Oh, I think he's definitely where he needs to be, but he's always working to improve. I mean, just going downstairs last night, I mean, how that had to be 8:30 in the evening. He's here, so I mean, he's always doing extra. And I know I've said this before, and I don't mean this in a negative way. The only thing I ever worry about with Osa is maybe him doing too much. I mean, so he's always working on himself, always looking to get better. So, but yeah, I think he's been a very consistent pro for us since the day he arrived.
And then with just the defensive tackle position in your time working in the league, it seems like that's one of the most difficult ones to find, quality defensive tackles coming out of the draft and things like that. Why do you think that is so difficult?
Well, I think something that's kind of you don't realize until you become a head coach is how much experience matters at that position. I mean, you look at that position the last 10 to 15 years. You look at the longevity of some of these defensive tackles, because there's a lot that goes on, in there, particularly, in the pre-snap, the anticipation, the awareness, the instincts, and I think that's something that people may, and I think it really holds up to, I know, the way I view offense when when you're writing job responsibilities and putting together job descriptions. I mean, really, the closer you are to the football, there's more going on. So I do think that's a position that, very high in technical importance, but also the awareness of what's going on with these offensive lines, both run and protection. There's more there that sometimes requires a little more development than you may. I know what I thought in the past, just being an assistant coach.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. I'm not sure if you value Tolbert still as a young player, But how do you think he's been able to handle everything the last couple of weeks? A different quarterback and Cooks came back and those kinds of things. And how do you think he's been able to maneuver?
Yeah, JT's very, very consistent, just in his everyday, work ethic. He's another young man, a lot like Osa. He can't do enough. He's always putting in the extra time, so always has a smile on his face. So he's always looking to get better. But, and frankly, him and Brandon are very close. So, yeah, I think he gives us everything he's got each and every week, regardless of how sometimes you're moving players around based on personnel and formations and things like that. So I think he handles that very well.
When you see the production is not what I'm sure he would like, but how do you evaluate and say, hey, you're doing all the other things right, like blocking and running?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why we have the evaluation process that we have as a coaching staff. Everybody has a different way to do it. The personnel department looks at it. They look at it from a different lens than we do. So the coaches are laying out the plan each week. They're in charge of the alignments, the assignments, the technique, the anticipation of what the defense is going to give you, how do they react to it, and so forth. So we grade every play, and the feedback is constant, because that's really the only opportunity you have to truly grow as an individual. So I mean, that's really what our players really hang their hats on.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, All City Dallas. Obviously, the injury to Jake opened the door for more snaps for Brevin and Luke. Since Jake's return, you're still using those guys a lot. How does having multiple tight ends that you can trust and help with your multiple tight end sets and using that specifically in the run game that's been opened up recently?
Huge fan of the tight end position. I think the tight ends and linebackers, you can't have enough of them on your football team. Just from a pure profile standpoint, I don't think you can have enough 6'4", 255-pound men on your. I just think that's the body type, the profile that gives you flexibility, whether it's special teams, whether you want to run it, you want to throw it. No different than guys that can also be pass rushers on the other side of it, and also be good run defenders too. So I'm a big fan of having as many of the tight ends and linebackers as you can. So, and I think it clearly has shown an impact in how we're running the ball, and and I think those two young guys have done a great job taking advantage of their opportunity.
Also, you guys re-added Justin Rogers today, who you drafted. What did you see from him in preseason, and kind of why did you decide to bring him
I really liked him. I mean, definitely was right there when it came down to the decision. So obviously, we keep an eye on him. Just watching what Will last week. Just fortunate to have the opportunity to bring him back. So and we still consider him one of ours. We drafted him, and obviously we thought enough of him to draft him. So it'd be great to get him back into the mix.
Josh.
Mike, Josh Tolentino, Lone Star Live. It seems like whenever we talk to an impact player on defense, Micah, Jordan Lewis, they, especially as the defense has improved, they've mentioned how they appreciate Mike Zimmer's efforts in terms of building the relationships and one-on-one meetings. What have you noticed about his ability to connect with a lot of the key guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so important. And Mike knows that more than anybody. He's been a head coach. He's been a coordinator. He's coached, the secondary for a long time. He's done this for an incredible long time. So, yeah, I think, sometimes, things take, time, and not only in building them, but maybe even just talking about them. So, that's a big part of what we need to do as coaches. And Mike's done a really nice job.
Saad, he's The Athletic. Mike, when you pop on the tape, what jumps out to you with the Todd Bowles team, and what are defining characteristics?
Good football team. I mean, talented. Really like the roster. I mean, all the way through offense, defense, and special teams. I think the biggest thing that categorizing your offense, they got excellent balance. I mean, their numbers reflect that, but you can see, like anything, it starts up front. Their ability to run the ball, both backs are excellent. I think Baker's playing some of the best football of his career. Mike Evans still playing at a very high level. So they can hold the ball 7, 8, 9, 10 plays, and they also can make the big plays. So they do a lot of things schematically, a lot of screens. I think teams that really do a good job mixing it up on first and second down definitely helps them on third down. So I'm impressed with them on offense. And I think the biggest thing, when you look at them on defense, their front seven is really good, and it's it's a group that's played a lot of football together too. So, and they got a lot of scheme. I mean, just a lot of scheme. The pressure packages are multiple, not only multiple pressure packages, but also multiple fronts, in personnel groups. So this is a big challenge. It's a team you definitely prefer to play as a division opponent, but when you play these teams, once a year or once every couple of years, it just makes your week, the week of preparation, a little more challenging.
You've never been in the same division as Todd, but when you look at how long he's been in the NFL, have you seen his stuff change over the years? Whenever you do play him every once in a while.
Yeah, he's always staying with the cycle thing. I like the way Todd's teams play. I like the way he coaches. I have a lot of respect for him.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, kind of following up on that, what is the challenge of your play caller going up against a Levante David in the middle of their defense, someone who's been around for as long as he had?
He looks like he hasn't aged today. Just have always loved not only his productivity but his play style. Super instinctive, aware. Obviously, he's been in this defense a long time now, so he has great command of it. You can see the anticipation. Definitely playing behind that D line. He's definitely someone we need to be aware of, every single play. But I don't know how many tackles he has, but he's got to be, so far up there. He's just a hell of a football player.
Patrick.
Hey Mike, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. It's yet another week where your offensive line is being challenged by injury. Just where is Cooper Beebe in the concussion protocol, and how is TJ Bass coming along in his recovery?
TJ, we're gonna work with TJ at the beginning of practice and see if he can come into practice today. So he'll be with the rehab group to start. Cooper did everything yesterday, and I anticipate he'll do everything today.
Flipping to your defensive secondary, Wanya Thomas, how's he trending toward possibly?
He's in a rehab group, so we'll see where he is today.
Alrighty. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.